Episodes 47 and 48. A lot of people call George acting out of character for this, but I get it. He's in total shock over his dad's death, and his whole mess as KamenRider Juga is him basically going through the 5 stages of grief, to which I will explain. But first, KamenRider Juga's look. First off, 1 point deduction because, dude, really? Juga? Kuga? Come on, man. But I will say, I like that driver. Like, I really like that driver. The suit itself is nice, and you can see how it's parts of, like, all of the animal forms Revice has all over the suit. Because I think I see, I want to say, eagle on the left shoulder, T-Rex possibly on the right, and so on, if anyone gets it or can see it. And the reason why I say Revice's animal forms is because the Juga Vice stamp literally says all of them first. T-Rex, eagle, mammoth, megalodon, so on. So George must have used them for the basis of his form. And now, here's what I mean, where I think George's mess as Juga is him going through the 5 stages of grief. First, let's explain the 5 stages of grief. There's denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. First stage is denial, which could have been quick when he missed his dad right before he died. Anger, which is the big part. George attacks all of the riders, destroying their drivers as a way of getting back at his dad. Bargaining, which comes in as the form of comparing yourself to others. George definitely feels jealous of the Igarashis once Daiji triggers him about their family. Depression, which could come in the mood of not wanting to socialize. When Hiromi reaches out to George to calm him down, he's not in the mood to socialize. And lastly, acceptance. Not just from getting beaten by Ultimate Revice. Throughout the fight, George is reasoned with and shown that his father did care.
Hell, his daddy used his drawings as inspiration for the Revice driver. Doesn't anyone find it weird how Revice is 2 people? It's meant to reflect George and his dad.
And from there, all the credit in the world goes to George's actor. Seeing him cry, it showed my heart.
Sadly, due to these actions, Iki's forgotten everyone except Vice. His mom, his dad, his brother, his sister, all gone from his head.
How this show ends, it has me in all of my feels. Because I'm just going to talk about the last 2 episodes together. Iki losing his memories hurts everyone because, well, that's not Iki. So Vice puts together a whole plan. Now, remember, Iki has forgotten everyone already and can still transform. So that means, why isn't the contract up yet? The reason is because Iki considers Vice as family. So if the contract was up, that would mean that Iki would have forgotten Vice too. So before it could ever come to that, Vice decides to trick Iki into fighting him in the hopes that he'll destroy him, leading to his memories returning, but in turn, Vice will be separated from Iki and disappear. In that final fight, it just, it made me want to cry.
Just seeing Iki and Vice fight with motives in each other's heads makes me feel. Until Love Cove's junk in her trunk got spotted, making Iki piece everything together. And yet they still fight.
What gets me the most about the final fight is that the fighting derails into one last day of fun. Iki and Vice just roughhousing, going through form changes. Like, my God, like that's their relationship. Their bond. It makes me tear up inside because they're just roughhousing, banter. It's fun. That's all that is their relationship. And here's where it starts to hurt again. When Vice starts to disappear. And once he fully disappears, Iki's memories return. And he remembers everyone except Vice. Oh my God. Vice's sacrifice. I can't wait to get to the character analysis. Most of all Toku shows end with action and drama together, and very rarely do they end the action early to just focus on the drama. When they do, I swear they just do it to make whatever show longer. Once again, looking at you, Ryu Kendo. But this show, Revice did its last 4 episodes right, and they felt real. From stuff with George's dad to Iki and Vice, it all felt real. And so, the final moments of the episode is just set up for the movies. Daiji and Hiromi rebuild a replacement Phoenix called Bluebird. Olteka is literally the only villain to survive until the end. But that's set up for one of the V cinemas. Like KamenRider Juga versus KamenRider Olteka. I think that's the name. And as for Iki, he goes back to playing soccer. He's established from the first episode to be a soccer player, so all he does is he plays soccer again. He's encouraged to try to go pro, and yeah, pretty much. And so, that's KamenRider Revice. This is a really good show. This was generally a really good show. I'm a little sad that I had to re-record it all, but I'm happy because I enjoyed this show. Weirdly enough, I think I put it on the same level as Zenkaiger for enjoyment because there's fun and then there's seriousness. And this show knows when to do one over the other, or both for that matter, at the same time. And so, the show's over, so now let's talk about the characters. Iki. Iki was a good character. I actually related to him quite a bit in a few ways. Like, we were both born in the same year, but we both care for our families. We both do whatever for our families. But for Iki, at least, his life wasn't on pause by his own choice. It just was put on pause because of the contract. But once Vice disappears, he goes back to living his life, and let's enjoy it. What I really like the most about Iki is how selfless he is. Like, yeah, everyone finds him to be nosy, but that's just caring. And I enjoy all of that. Just, Iki is a great hero. And also, it's just, once again, fun fact, me and Iki's actors were both born the same year, we're both the same age, but I'm like 9 months older than him. But yeah, Iki's a good character and a great protagonist and one of the better writers. And next, Vice, before I lose my voice. Vice was awesome. just his self-sacrifice at the very end, awesome. And the growth to there, just they gave so much to Vice, and it's amazing how much personality and depth that was given to a costumed character. It's just everything with Vice, I believed it. Not only that, Vice is just wacky. Like, he's a good kind of wacky. Like, I want to say he's like, what would happen if Deadpool was your inner demon? And that's just cool. It's so awesome. Vice is awesome. And I can't wait for him to come back in the Revice team up. I want to see Vice back. I want to see him back. I love Vice. So awesome. And so next, Daiji. Daiji is not my favorite at all. Matter of fact, I think he sucks really hard. Like, the most he has going on is with Kagero, but without yes. Daiji was just not all that impressive to me. And once he turns traitor, I hate him more. It's just moving on. Sakura. Now, her I did like. I like how she wanted to follow the same path as her brothers. Like, she felt the calling. And she enjoyed, like, like, Daiji and Iki both took being writers as a responsibility. But she enjoyed being a writer. She found enjoyment from it. She bothered to help people out, like Yosuke, just to do good. And I just enjoy it. Sakura was a good character. Her rivalry with Aguilera was fine. Just, Sakura as a character, she was good. Does she grow much from the start of the show to the end? A little bit, but she's not egregious. Like, I feel like I can focus on her the entire run. Like, if it's her focus episode. To which, by the way, I quite like the focus episodes in this show. Because when they're all focused on someone in particular, I can pay attention to them in particular. So next, Hiromi. Hiromi was a good coordinary writer. I definitely see why he became so popular. It's just him wanting to sacrifice himself for the greater good. It was sweet, especially when you see the backstory as to why. And even when he's not a writer, he's still a great help. Also, just throwing it out there too, him and George. Them, I did see as a couple, and I have no problems. Like, I'm not one for shipping, but as soon as I saw them when I saw them out on a date together, I thought to myself, what do you know? Just looking back at so many episodes, just thinking, I guess I missed that. Right. They seem nice together, though. Speaking of which, George, he was my second favorite character. He really had a problem with his dad, which makes sense because his dad faked his death and just was not there at all for his son. But even aside from that, George was just always there to help, whether it was to add on something new or step out in the field himself. Yeah, he did help out the villains, but you saw that he knew right from wrong and didn't mind getting his hands dirty. In that final arc, I believed him, and I just felt so bad for him too. Like, all he wanted was his dad. All he literally wanted was his dad. And that also reminds me of something. I read a comment on the Tokusatsu VC board about George being committing a war crime. Daiji was a full-on traitor. Not a single person said shit about it. Just saying. But next, let's talk about these next two characters together. Hana and Tamaki. Tamaki became Overdemons once, and that was it. It's just like, after he stops being after he stops being Julio, he doesn't really go anywhere. He's just part of the good guys now. And same for Hana. Like, her story stops after she becomes a writer. From there, she's just along for the ride, like, for the rest of the show. Mind you, as villains, they were both pretty good. Aguilera, Mitty was a bit bratty. Actually, not even a bit, was totally bratty. But once she was, after the whole mess or whatnot with Alteca, she got away from that brattiness immediately. Most likely because Sakura. So, Sakura was a good influence on her, so more for Sakura. And I guess more for Hana too. Should we talk about the parents next? Sort of, so let's do so. The parents were good influences on the kids, which is nice because, that was their role. They're parents. They wanted what's best for their children, and they knew how to be good guides for them. More or less the mom. The dad had his own story going on with Vale, but from both parents, both were supportive and there for their children, no matter what they did. Like how parents usually are. Like, all appreciated. And so, we're not done just yet. I was just about to say, no, I guess I can just say it now. That was KamenRider Revice. Did I enjoy the show? Pretty much so. This is a show where I don't have a lot of complaints about, but it's a good show. I enjoyed the characters. I really enjoyed the villains. I definitely think this is a show more for the characters. And so, before we wrap up, we are, as per usual with reviews, going to read people's comments on the show. I'm definitely going to try to skim some of the comments where they all sound the same. So, let's see what we got. I guess I'll start with this first one. Gabriel Vincent Lee. I thought the series was great. It's just been a while since I actually even saw a series this good. Alright, now for something a bit different. Corley Biandempi? I probably pronounced that wrong. It's actually good overall, just the final arc was messed up. Oh god, this one's probably my favorite. Chaz Johnson. Vice's chaotic energy made me laugh a lot. I'm certainly going to miss him. Hopefully we get some specials that feature Vice or something. Once again, the Revice Geeks movie. I want to see Vice back. It's all I want. Alright, let's see here. Awesome, especially the ending by Daniel McDonald. Honest to God, I'm in love with the ending. Like, I don't understand why. People give the ending flack, but I enjoyed the ending so much because it was one last day of fun, and it was sad when it ended. It was great. And so, Connor O'Reilly, first writer series I watched weekly. I like all the characters, especially the family dynamics. The middle batch of episodes were awfully tedious, way too many suits and upgrades for my liking, with very few looking good, although looks like I'm the minority as I quite like base Revice, me too. And for an anniversary season, it feels really tacked on. Daiji simultaneously the best and worst part of the series. I think Daiji was part of the worst part of the series. Do I think as an anniversary season it was tacked on? Well, not really, because if you think this as an anniversary season tacked on, then you probably think that Bokenger as an anniversary season is tacked on because of all the nods in there. But I don't think it's too tacked on. Oh, but this one's a bit different. Don Hillsman II. Enjoyed the show. Absolutely hated Revice suit and still do. Changed the saturation on my screen just to watch it and not gag off the bubblegum washed off crap of a costume. So many other colors, and you pick two of the worst colorblind combinations in writer history. As you can tell, I really hated that fugly suit. So unheroic looking, just fugly. Kagero rules. I personally disagree. Let's see more. Okay, here's a different one. Gabriel Lance. I think it was really good, but I sadly had some problems with it, which ranges from just simple small nitpicks to big issues that really bothered me. But if I listed them all now, I would take up a lot of space in this comment section, and I don't want to do nor sound like a hating hypocrite. Oh crap, this one comment's just my favorite. Juan Manuel Martinez Diaz. Are you Esteban Julio Ricardo Patola Balado? Anywho, the comment. I love Vice. He's not Momotaro's, hands down, but still a great character and an original. Well, wait, I just realized I just gave praise to Momotaro's and I hate Deno. Fuck. Anywho, let's see here. There are really a lot of comments here. I don't understand. Some people don't like the base form. I love it. It's a nice mix of colors. I guess now let's go to a different board where I also left down some questions. I mean, also ask people their thoughts on the show. Let's see here. Okay, I didn't get it right. I enjoyed it a lot. The plot is not heavy, straightforward, and easy to understand. It was also easy to follow up if you missed an episode. I love how each character has their own conflict and how they solved it. The only problem is the last few episodes. It looked a little bit rushed, and I must say, KamenRider Juga episodes, but overall, it's a balanced series. Alright, and let's, I guess, wrap this up with my man, you've been a viewer since day one, Ray Hayes. This show is fine. It's just fine. I'm glad it didn't do things like give us yet another finale exclusive final extra form, a tertiary writer heel turn plotline, or stretch out things that didn't need to be stretched out. The final battle with Gift being the main three, giving Sakura a final form of the show instead of yet another V-Cinema, and Gift being a major antagonist that just didn't care about anything and will do whatever he wants. I appreciate that. And Revice was different compared to Saber and 01. Yes, Daiji replaced Gates as my least favorite secondary writer, and mine. And no, I will not understand the hate Hikaru gets, because what did he do? He did kick your... Did he kick your puppy like he was Ken from Digimon or something? Not to mention the fans were really out of control on him being over demons. I actually understand that last part. It's not so much that we were out of control. Maybe others were, but I just thought the suit was just... Why? But those are everyone's thoughts on Revice. So I'm gonna go get lunch because my throat is dry and I need to eat. But next time, we will be checking out the movies for the rest of Revice month, starting with Beyond the Generations, since that movie is canon and the earliest. With that said, thank you all for watching. Please do not forget to like, subscribe, share this video, tell your friends about KamenRider Blackman, and let's enjoy mean, oh God. Let's enjoy the less. Oh God, I can't talk anymore. See ya.